Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Kaguya-sama Love is War ultra romantic discussion videos. Today we're going to be talking all about episode 2. Before we get into it though, guess who got themselves a gold star? That's right, you guys did. Bam, boom, bam, there you go, gold star for you. And hey, if you want to get yourselves a gold star next week, then be sure to get this video to 150 likes before next week, and you will guarantee that you get another gold star next week. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into this week's episode, shall we? And Kaguya never fails to disappoint. Like I said, there's something about Kaguya that just, like, I don't know. It's one of those shows that just makes me feel warm and fuzzy every time it comes back. I just get super hype and excited about each episode because I want to see good things for Shirogane and Kaguya, right? So I just want those two to end up happy. And this is one of the weeks where it focuses on those two, which is good. But before we get into that, though, I do want to stress that this week did have a little bit something extra, a little bit of a cheeky surprise for us in the form of Ino and my boy Ishigami having a bit of a moment. Now we've known that there might be a little something between Ino and Ishigami, like a little bit, and I even talked about it during season 2, where I was like, I kind of ship it, but I don't super know. And this week, they just hammer home how much these two have, like, a vendetta against each other, right? Like how angry the other one makes them, right? Like they just constantly talk smack, essentially. Now, mind you, Ishigami, I think, has developed more of a kind heart at the moment than Ino has, and that's not to knock Ino. Ino's great, right? It's just I don't think that she's as ready to be kind to Ishigami as Ishigami is as ready to be kind to her. Because he does list off qualities of hers that he admires, you know, which is great, and it was sweet. But then she's like, I don't have anything to say, right? And of course, you know, Shirogane is just like, cool, my plan, totally pointless. And like we spend like a while just trying to get these two to calm down, right? Now, it's funny because during the whole like sports festival thing from last season, right? To me, that was when I was just like, Ino and Ishigami kind of work. But then again, there was also the other girl that Ishigami knows who is also great. Not the girl who, you know, not the brat who didn't get into their school, but like the girl that he's with on like I forget what team it is, like the cheer squad. I don't really remember their name. But that girl, like, in Ishigami is good. Ishigami's got like a few solid ships where I'm just like, I can see it, right? Like just a few ships where I'm like, yeah, I vibe. It's a vibe, right? But with Ino and him, I do think there's something cute about it. Like the idea that neither of them wants to admit that that's how they feel. Like the fact that her friend directly just calls it out and is like, I know how to get them to get along. You know, you two make a great couple because you guys keep saying how much you don't like each other, but it's really just a way to deflect how embarrassed you are by how much you actually care about the other person. Oh, teenagers, right? And they're both like, hey, you know, I like you a lot, Ishigami. Ah, same, thank you. Like, when they start talking like Vocaloid characters, it was like very, I don't know, there's something very cute about it. Is it like my favorite ship? It might be my favorite ship for Ishigami. I do like him and the one girl, like Tsubame or something like that. Okay, I looked it up and yes, it is Tsubame. It's the girl with like the pinkish hair from season 2. She's cute and I think she's good for him. But I do think that something about Ino and Ishigami just works as well, and I don't super know why. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I just think they're cute. And I thought it was funny. This episode is a lot like this episode didn't have as many laughs as episode 1 did because it was more so, I think, just kind of, I shouldn't say it didn't have as many laughs because I did laugh out loud like a good few times, but it's more like it does like a little bit of character building because we see, you know, more stuff with Kaguya and Shirogane, but specifically with Best Girl Hayasaka. Best Girl Hayasaka, which is how everyone should be referring to her. No, I'm kidding. Hayasaka, I mean, she is Best Girl, but still. Hayasaka reminds us that there was a bet between her and Kaguya that Hayasaka couldn't possibly seduce Shirogane. So when they're out and about and Kaguya's like, make sure that he doesn't flirt with anybody, right, make sure to keep him away from other girls while they're at this freaking karaoke thing, she ends up kind of jumping on the opportunity to see if she can actually seduce him. And it's funny because Hayasaka says that, like, for her, when she is in love with somebody, it's love is hiding who you are, right? To try to please the other person. And obviously Shirogane is like, that's not true at all, right? But with Hayasaka, she's the type of character who has always kind of hidden herself off. She's always been the type of person who's not very forthcoming with information, right? Like, we don't really even know what Hayasaka's actually like. Like, we know that she's more than likely herself when she's around Kaguya, but also we know that she can be kind of a dork, right? Like, not a dork, but she could be kind of an airhead, and, like, she puts it on a little bit, but we know that she might actually have more fun being that way, right? So it's interesting with Hayasaka. The reason why I like her is because she's a lot of different things all at once, and it's sort of hard to pin her down, right? And I like the idea that she actually is kind of interested in Shirogane. Maybe not super romantically, maybe not ultra romantic, but there is some romantic feeling there, where I think she does see Shirogane as somebody who she could fall for, but also understands that Kaguya genuinely loves this man, and that she's going to try to help her get the guy in the end, right? Like, ultimately she is there to help Kaguya get together with Shirogane, even if maybe it hurts her a little bit. And she even says as much when she said, like, I wanted to hurt you, right? Like, Hayasaka tells Kaguya straight up that, like, you've been laughing and joking so much lately, I felt alone, and I did want to hurt you a little bit, right? But Kaguya still showed up to save her in the end from friggin' Shirogane's singing. But I do like that, you know, they have that moment where she admits that, like, yeah, I was upset. I was jealous, right? She doesn't say the words I was jealous, but that's what she's saying. That it's like, you get to have all this fun, like, goofy adventures with the student council, but I'm just Hayasaka. Like, I'm on the sidelines. Like, I just help, right? I don't really get to have my own romantic adventures and stuff. That's a you thing. And maybe I was upset, right? Like, basically saying, like, maybe I was upset. Right? And it breaks my heart and it makes me sad, because Hayasaka, best girl, and I hope Hayasaka finds somebody in the show. I would be curious if she ever does. Or maybe she's just gonna kind of pine for Shirogane and then sort of come to see him as more of, like, a friend instead of a romantic interest, because Kaguya is absolutely gonna lock that man down one day. But speaking of which, too, the scene where Kaguya, like, runs into the karaoke bar and thinks she hears them, like, doing the deed. There was two things this week that I was like, oh my, right? It was the drawing, like, the lewd drawing that is, like, super pixelated, but I'm like, is that Chika and Kaguya? Like, I was like, oh my, right? And then, so there was that, and then there was Kaguya running to the karaoke room and then hearing, like, she can't see into the room, she just hears, like, noises that makes her go, like, oh my god, they're doing the thing, which they're not. But, like, she thinks that's what's happening, when in actuality it's just that Shirogane's mad rap skills are in fact so painfully bad that it actually knocks her the hell out. That was pretty great, not gonna lie. It was a really funny episode in general. I think it kind of, to me, is like a nice episode 2. Like, it's a nice second episode, because the first episode was so jam-packed, and this one had, like, callbacks, right? This one has a lot of callbacks in it, both. So we got Hayasaka's, like, bet with Kaguya, we get stuff with Ino talking about how she got Ishigami. She tried to help Ishigami when he got suspended, which is a throwback to everything that happened in season 2. We get the singing lessons, right? We get Chika remembering just how awful Shirogane's voice is. So, like, we get a crap ton of callbacks this week, and it's great, and it made me laugh, and it was very wonderful, but it's not, like, as jam-packed as episode 1 is, and I think that's ultimately for the better, because this episode wouldn't, I don't think, have worked as well as it does if it was, like, just filled with jokes. Because you need those moments where Kaguya and Hayasaka get to be characters, like Kaguya saying, like, you know, we're basically sisters, right? Which is, it's true, they basically are. And having that moment, like, punctuated by any sort of joke or anything like that, I feel like would have hurt the scene. So I do feel as though this is an episode that is rightfully a lot more calm and chilled out, which I think it was needed, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much all of my thoughts on this week's episode. Not as much to say this go around, but I did want to, sit down, record my thoughts, and share them with all of you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, outro. And that's going to do it for today's discussion, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I want to give a big thank you to the lovely people who help support us over on Patreon. And if you too would like to have your name scrolling past the screen, then be sure to check out that Patreon link in the description. And of course, a big thank you has to go to Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorins, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trap Master, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Check me out over on Twitch, on Twitter, all the fun stuff. Links to everything are in the first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you in the next one.